we've been really fast everywhere. Streaks do come to an end. So yeah, I think the Toyotas have had a lot of speed all year. We've unfortunately in the beginning of the year found ways to lose races. Unfortunately, me and this team have made a lot of mistakes this year, but the speed's always there, and we're learning from it as we go. So yeah, Toy's been good. So if that changes this weekend, it wouldn't surprise me.
And then going back to last weekend, I know you had some mistakes on pit road there. Just what's the conversation like back at the shop, and how do you plan to kind of correct those going forward too?
Yeah, we're just gonna keep working on our communication. I've always pushed really, really hard, even when I probably don't need to. And we've had 2 races now where I feel like we've been in position to win if something happens. The way that race ended with a late race caution, we would have been right in position there. So to battle Christopher. So between the last couple of months, we've had some good days go awry from just pushing a little too hard when I don't need to, and so we'll just continue to work on our communication.
And then this seems to be the last normal race of the regular season, just with road courses and Daytona coming up. Do you feel like this will be a good tell as to who will be really good going into the playoffs or not?
I'd say all these drivers have gotten pretty well acclimated to the road courses, so I would say they are normal races, right? The roles in the playoffs, so the drivers that are good on road courses come in handy in the playoffs for sure. So yeah, I get what you mean. I look at all the races like they're normal, to be honest with you. We have a speedway race in the playoffs too. So, this is a place where handling is not really that important. It's all about, where your engine's at, where where the build of the car is at. It can be kind of telling of what capability the cars have and the team has. So you always want to run good and be strong when you come to Michigan.
How do you go about managing, making sure mistakes don't bleed into the next week? Because obviously the playoffs start next month. Is it something you guys just, you just go in clean slate, or is it are you reminded with your pit engines hey, just remember about your pit engines and not to
hide and just have a better sense of awareness and understanding, and it's something that we're all working on. Definitely. Me and Billy have, got a number of races under our belt still, but, we're still learning for sure. And he's learning about my tendencies and all that included. So we're doing, unfortunately, we're getting it out of the way, but we're getting it out of the way when I feel like we can kind of afford to.
Mm-hmm. How much do you know about Rocket League?
Man, Bob, when I saw this on the schedule, I was pretty excited, but also I felt a little conflicted because if someone asked me to play Rocket League right now, it would not go well. I've gotten really rusty over the last couple of years. I think I definitely used to have a lot more free time before I became a dad, and I remember a good portion of especially when we were racing during COVID, I would come home after race weekend, and I get on my console, and me and Austin Cindric would start playing Rocket League, and that would go on for hours and hours. So I was never really that good at it. I had a lot of fun doing it. I was definitely the one guy of the squad that I was kind of the bruiser, if that even makes sense. I would go steal all the boost from everybody else, and then I would run over people and blow them up so that I could clear the field out for my team to get the goal.
So you're
Little
the
man
Ross
strategy.
You're the Ross Chastain of the Rocket League.
That's a very. Ross hasn't blown anyone up for hitting him, so it's not quite the same.
Okay.
But I would get some people really, really mad, and they would quit sometimes. That was the best. When late at night, you'd just, right when they would spawn, you'd know where they're going to spawn and run them over and blow them up, and they'd spawn again, you'd get them again. I had some good matches where I think they were called demolitions, where I got about 12 of them. I had some good matches in me for the record books.